Hey everyone, it's Ryan Leonard with Wolfnest Property Management, and today we're going to be talking about the best way to oversee an eviction. So, obviously, evictions, you never want to have them happen. And with rental properties, there's a lot of benefits to owning them, to being a DIY landlord or having a property manager. But in the situation where you have a problem tenant or a horrible tenant, really having the option to do an eviction is great for landlord or property managers because unfortunately, no matter what you do, you may find yourself with an eviction. So really, this post today is going to be talking about some of the things that you should be focusing on if you're handling an eviction by yourself. So first one is build your case. Now, in order to evict a tenant, you want to make sure that you have all the evidence that you need to make sure that it goes through. Now, this cannot be word of mouth. Make sure that you have, again, really a paper trail. So try to communicate with the tenant via email or text, not just phone calls. Also, you want to make sure that you have copies of the tenant ledger, showing that they haven't paid rent for this month or that month. The more documentation that you have, the easier it is to move the eviction case forward. Next one is understanding the laws. Now, this is a big one, and where a lot of DIY owners will make a mistake of not posting a notice on time. But make sure that you are checking with your local or really state laws, and really focus on the timelines. When does the notice need to be served? How does it have to be served? Can it be done via email or mail? Does it have to be certified mail? Does it have to be posted and taped to the door with a photo showing that you posted with the date? So there's just a lot of things that you want to make sure that you are abiding by as far as the laws to make sure, again, that the eviction goes forward, because you need everything to be in line in order for that eviction to be pushed through. Next one is a big one, is serve the notice. So again, make sure that you're checking with the state requirements, but more often than not, you need to go over to the property, post notice, have it dated, and also have a carbon copy, showing that, you signed it, you sent it to them, you posted it, or a lot of times if the situation may call for it, certified mail. That way we know that the tenant actually received it because they actually signed for it. So again, serving the notice, make sure you have it, and make sure the notice is really includes everything that you need to be on that notice for it to be effective. And unfortunately, if it does come to that, when you serve that notice, part of that is a cure period, meaning that the tenant has an opportunity to rectify the situation, whether it's catch up on rent or if there's a lease violation or they're breaching the agreement, okay, they satisfy it and now they're back in good standing. But if the cure period goes by and they still have not rectified the situation, I guess you could say, you will have to move it to court. Now, that may be something that can be done online or in person. So just make sure that you check with the local courts and figure out the best way to do that. Also, avoid bad tenants. That's the best way to minimize the chance of an eviction actually happening. I know vacancies are tough, and a lot of times you're in a rush to put a tenant in there, but by doing the proper screening, background checks, credit checks, income, employment verification, reference checks on previous landlords, those are all good things that are indicators of a tenant being responsible, paying on time, and taking care of the property. So always make sure that you do the proper screening before you have someone move into that property. Now, we take pride in our eviction rate. Honestly, at Wolfnest, we run at about a 0.04% eviction rate. Now, people ask, how does an eviction happen if you guys are so good at screening? Because things outside of our control can happen that we have, again, no control over. If someone gets very sick or even gets hit by a bus or they lose their job, those are things that we cannot foreshadow or see in that screening process that can happen. So evictions, as much as we try to minimize them, if they do happen, we've got everything in line to help with that. So if you have questions about a headache tenant or a bad tenant that you have currently and you're going through the eviction process and you'd like some insight, feel free to give me a call. That's my phone and email. Also, great news about Wolfnest is that we actually have the premier eviction attorney on retainer with us. So he handles really 85% of all eviction case workload in the Valley, and we've had him on retainer with us for years. So again, if you want some insight or some recommendations on a situation that you're going through, or if you just just went through an eviction, you want to minimize the chance of it happening again, give me a call. Be happy to discuss our services and see if they're a good fit. Thank you.